Welcome back to the pile, and what a pile we have today. It's Block BA. A lot of Orcus and Striker and Salmon Great refugees are probably heading on over to this video to check out Burning Abyss for the new format, as it's a deck that hasn't been touched and has had Tour Guide return to. So, yes, very, very cool. I'm just going to quickly run down through this list and explain the basics and concepts of how this deck works. It's not anything particularly new or spicy. You've seen this a lot with Ryan Fletcher and Joshua Oosters popularizing this version of Burning Abyss. It's not really Burning Abyss in the same sense that Lightsworn wasn't really Lightsworn with Grass. So any Burning Abyss purists watching this and getting really mad and disliking the video, sorry, I guess. It really is like an Earth deck per se with a BA engine. But anyway, so this is a new deck. If this video gets a few thousand likes, smash that like button. I'll do a combo guide per se, but this deck doesn't really have a combo exactly. It's you very much just kind of play with your hand, but there are a few steps that you take generally as you play this deck, so I can do that at some point. Let's get into the deck list then. Just disclaimer, this is obviously very preliminary, very early in the format, and it's really just based off of like the basics of like last format, so don't be too impressed or blown away here. There's just like the purpose of this is really just to give you the basics of this deck for you to go away with and net deck and then tune and work on yourself as you see fit. So yeah, there's a 4 Burning Abyss monsters. Yes, a nice Burning Abyss deck. Very simple. Graph gets you Seer out of your deck that you send with the Tribony. If you draw Graph or Seer, you have Libich to get it out of your hand, and Farfa is your disruption for Beatrice. Very, very simple. Then for your normal summons, we have 5 total, which is why I decided to cut Mathematician down to 2 from 3, just because once you start hitting 6+ normal summons in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's generally where you're going to be bricking and seeing multiples, and it's not really what you want to do with this deck. So I felt like with the return of Tour Guide to 2, I was kind of inclined to maybe to cut a normal summon. It's really not justifiable to cut Rhino Warrior, because if you summon it off Tour Guides, which sends Graph for you, that means Tribony can then send Archiver instead of the Graph, just as an extra resource. On top of that, you normally send Sulcius with this version, as I am playing the Dark Engine as well. So 5 normal summons I felt like was enough for me, and yeah, common and ultimate rare Tour Guide, by the way. Yeah, I know, sorry, it's blasphemy, but what can you do? I wasn't expecting. Were you expecting Tour Guide to 2? I wasn't expecting Tour Guide to 2. 4 Dangers! Best extenders, level 3s. This deck really revolves around a lot of level 3 extenders to start its combos. I went with as much consistency as I could than over power with this deck, which is why you won't see me playing a lot of, like, you know, bomb cards like Avarice or whatever in this. And I'll explain that in as we go along. So Dangers for level 3 extenders, Gallus for more level 3 extenders. Still playing Gallus because it is an incredible level 3 extender, which is why we're not going too hard with a lot of spells in this one. That's why I'm not playing like Avarice, Card Destruction, Upstart, Allure, all these different things. I felt like you still want to keep the spell count low, but I decided not to play Sekka, but you'll see why as we go. Terratop and Taketomborg. It's a love-hate relationship. Terratop is like the single best like starter in this. It's better than Tour Guide, right? It legitimately is better than Tour Guide in this deck because it doesn't take up your normal summon, but it does come with the sacrifice of requiring you to play a Garnet. However, it's not that bad. There are ways to make this live because your wind monsters are Levier and even Apollosa. So mid-combo, if you do draw this instead of this, you are still able to keep playing and keep it live. So it's not too big of a deal. Like I said, Terratop is just so strong, it's worth playing, even with the sacrifice of playing the Garnets. The other level 3 extenders, they're Earth, which is really awesome. They're Psychic Tracker and Weed Dealer, just, you know, one-off things that you can draw to help start your combo. If your Tour Guide gets, or your Mathematician gets hand-trapped, you have so many ways to extend into the Tribony. So these are why these two are very important. Keeping up the Earth count and keeping up the level 3 extender count, super, super important. Just free bodies on the field, basically. Next up, for the final one, is Sea Archiver. Like I said, if you open Tour Guide, Fiendish Rhino Warrior sends Graph, or it sends Sulcius if you've drawn Malicious. I'll explain that in a second. Generally, you can send Graph, and then Tribony can send this, and then this is another body on the field to help you make level 3, rank 3s, or into your Curious and Sorry, etc., etc., etc. So that's it for all the level 3s, and then, like I mentioned already, playing the Warrior engine, well, Level 6 engine, we'll call it. 3 Mali and Sokius. A lot of people don't like Malicious because, you know, drawing it is like bad. However, as I said, if you draw Malicious, you don't send Graph with Fiendish Rhino Warrior. Instead, you send Solkius, who pitches the Graph out of your hand and another random card, hopefully something that's useful in the graveyard, like a Bulb or a Block Dragon, or so many different things in this deck like are relevant in the graveyard. And then instead of summoning Dante, you hard summon Beatrice. Yes, this deck not ironically hard summons Beatrice, so that's generally the path you take if you draw Malicious. So it's never been bad for me. The only time it's obviously bad is if you draw multiples, and drawing two of the same three of statistically happens 4% of the it's really rare. So you know, you just have to take the bad with the good sometimes. And the final two darks, Destrudo. I was honestly playing 3 originally because this thing is absolutely incredible. The reason why I love it so much is because it breaks boards going second with Yazi and Mermer that I'm maining. It's an extra dark that helps you go into Curious, and it has so much level modulation. Like, you can target 3s to make it a 4, you can target 4s to make it a 3, you can target a Bulb to make it a 6, the hard make Beatrice, it's a free body on the field to make materials for Saryuya and Apollosa. It's extremely versatile. It's extremely versatile, you know. Just make sure you play this deck fast, because time will probably bite you if you, resolve this at some point late in the game. Now onto the Earth Engine. Of course, Block Dragon, very important card. Not once per turn. This is why this thing is so incredible. You can special summon it as many times as you have resources. And when it's linked off, the huge play that you do with this deck is Chainlink 1, Saryuya, Chainlink 2, Block Dragon, add 2 level 4 Earths from your deck to your hand, and Chainlink 3, Dante, add back a Burning Abyss monster from your grave to your hand, at which point you have 3 spare cards in hand, plus the 4 off Saryuya, so you have a lot of flexibility, and you are literally drawing like 4 new cards. It's absolutely incredible. And to compensate that, of course, we have more Earths like Giant Rex and Glow Up Bulb. I wasn't initially playing Giant Rex until I saw Joshua Oosters play, and I just really, really loved it. It's a level 4 to help me make Nat Beast with this. It's a body on the field, and it's a free special summon off of the Block Dragon when you banish it. Really incredible card. Not really ideal to draw initially, but usually if you mill it with Dante and Curious, this deck mills 6 cards typically with the quote-unquote main combo per se. So if you do see it, that's the ideal place you want to see it, is there. Now for the Earths, the targets for Block Dragon, we have 3 Gigantes and a Fossil Dyna. Fossil Dyna is absolutely incredible because by itself, it literally can just win you the duel. Normally, what you do with this is you do your combos, you make like, you know, an Avramax or something, or your Nat Beast, you have your Beatrice Disruptor on the field, and then Saryuya effect, special summon this from your hand, because you do draw it quite often, or you literally just search it off the Block Dragon. So, it's this, like I said, can literally just win you duels by itself. Level 4 extenders to help you make more bodies on the field to maybe continue into something like Apollosa or Abyss Dweller if you choose to play that. So that's all the Earths and some Garnets, Mermer, and Olion. Olion feels a lot weaker now because I cut Mathematician down to 2, but still very necessary. Having that 1 card Cherubini is extremely important with your normal summon. So kind of a little bit garnety. There is like a couple of cards in this deck you really don't want to see, but generally, like, you can get them out your hand with things like Dangers and Solkius, etc. So it's not too bad. They're still like discard fodder in the end. I was originally citing the Mermer the package thing because just for going second, and I wanted to focus more on going first, but I just found that it was because of how much I love Destrudo, and because I bumped Destrudo up to 2. I would play 3, honestly, with you, but it was just a space at this point. I want to keep it at 40 cards to be consistent. Because of the fact that I have more access to Destrudo now, I decided that I would probably best main deck this, which really makes the extra deck suffer, but we'll get onto that in a second. And for the final 3 cards, now that we've lost Sekka's Light, we can play Spells and Traps again. However, you want to play Spells and Traps, you don't want to play too many because you want to keep it low enough for Gallus to not be able to hit this when it's using its effect to special summon. So that's, like, obviously really important. The reason I chose not to play power spells, like, for example, Avarice does nothing in your hand until you have a live graveyard. So when you've started comboing off, when you've started winning, essentially, then Avarice is live. At which point you have to ask yourself, what are you really trying to draw once you've already started comboing off? So it's a -1, literally doing nothing for the first, 15 steps of your turn. Not really ideal. I've seen some arguments. People say things like, "Oh, you know, turn 3 like recycles resource and stuff," and it's like, what turn 3? Like this deck, like your opponent's going to look at your board and scoop, or you're going to get hand trapped to death and you're going to like set Weed Dealer pass or something, right? Like this is how this deck works. This is how this deck functions. Really frustrating for some people. A lot of people don't mind that. That's the playstyle of it. That's like how this deck functions. You go all in. If you get stopped, you stop. If you win and you make a big board, like you generally win. That's how this deck works. Foolish Burial is a better card than Sekka's Light. Foolish Burial gives you any card at the specific time and point that you need it. If you need Block Dragon, send Block Dragon. If you need Malicious, send Malicious. If you need Destrudo, send Destrudo. If you need Glow Up Bulb, send Glow Up Bulb. If you need Malicious, did I say Malicious? Sulkius, send Sulkius. If you need Sea Archiver, send Sea Archiver. Whereas the Sekka's Light gives you random draws. Obviously, drawing 2 cards and then seeing another one with a mulligan is obviously really incredible, and Sekka's Light is great for that, and you could probably just like play 1 second, 39 monsters if you really wanted to. I decided to still keep the 3 number with and keeping it low enough for Gallus, but Foolish, in my opinion, is just better. The reason we played Sekka over Foolish was because Sekka was at 3, Foolish was at 1. If both are at 1, having the accuracy of Foolish Bro, in my opinion, is better than the randomness of Sekka's. Like, yes, you do get 3 mystery boxes, but would you rather have 3 mystery boxes, or would you rather have the accuracy of Foolish Burial? That's really what you have to ask yourself. And on top of that, 2 more spells. I thought, well, card destruction, I've never been a fan of that. I don't like giving my opponent resources in the graveyard and potentially drawing into hand traps. I don't like that. I've never been a fan of that card, so that's why I'm not playing card destruction, even though it is actually very good in this deck. Avarice, as I've already explained. So what other spells are there left? Call by the Grave. You just stop hand traps, go for consistency, do your combo as best as you can. That's really what you're trying to aim for this deck. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Onto the extra deck. As I've mentioned, it's super, super tight. So 1 Dante, 1 Cherubini. Cherubini is always like the first summon, and then you normally go into the Dante after that. Beatrice is usually hard summoned, more so than using her effect to rank up the Dante, in all honesty. Levier is used to summon back the banished Fossil Dino that you banished with the Block Dragon. That's usually how you end your combo. Beat Cop should be a Masquerena. Pretend this isn't it, Masquerena. I don't have the money right now, or, well, I do, but I don't have the access to the card because no one in this city plays this game, apparently. I need a Masquerena. The reason that's important is because Curious needs a Dark of different types. This is a Fiend. You don't want that. You want a random thing that isn't a Fairy or a Burning Monster, which is a Fiend. So what else do you have? You have a Dragon in Destrudo, and you have a Warrior in Malicious, and you also have Cybers with Masquerena. Also, Masquerena into Avermax is literally auto-win versus a lot of decks in this game. Like, you'd be surprised how many decks cannot out that. Shoutouts to Altergeist. Borrow Sword for OTKing, Apollosa, setting up the material, the negates, etc. That's what this deck does. Saryuya, as I mentioned, insane amount of draw and advantage generated through it. Avermax, just a really good guy to end your board on. Nat Beast, because we're playing the Glow Up Bulb. Curious is like probably like the most important extra deck card, honestly. Unicorn to help link climb and break boards with the Yazi package as we have here in order to use the Mare tokens. So 15 cards in the extra deck. Side deck, again, this is again very rough, very preliminary, very much based off of like just, you know, the meta and how it shapes up, etc, etc. But if you really want something as a go-to like basic standard, Brancatops, 1 of, it's at 1 now. 3 Comungus. I don't have Comungus, I only have the Gamma Seals, but this should be Comungus because Comungus is Earth, and obviously Earth is more important than water. 3 Nibiru, just for combo decks, whatever it might be. The 1 red reboot for breaking traps going second. 1 single card for sided going first. I don't side anything for going first, but you can put in the 1 copy of Imperial Order if you randomly want to. 3 Twin Twister. This should be Lightning Store if you can get Lightning Store. If you can't get Lightning Store, well, Twin Twister is a good option. And 3 generic cards that I thought I don't know what else to put in. 3 Ash Blossom. These could be extra deck cards. You could probably put a Dweller in here because like I really want to play Dweller, but like I said, the Yazi package takes up a lot of space. So probably a Dweller, maybe a Tornado Dragon. Just some extra deck toolbox thing. Take advantage of your extra deck. Take advantage of the fact that this deck has access to like lots of different levels and like spam link plays. Like, see if there's anything out there. So this is probably like the flex spot. I just thought, what's the most generic card I can play in my side deck? Ash Blossom. There you go, boys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick rundown of this deck. If you need anything else, let me know in the comment section down below. Please leave a like, and I'll do a little, like, test hand video of sorts. Like, not really a combo guide, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Great. Thank you. Shoutouts to Joshua Oosters for keeping this deck alive and topping at regionals and stuff recently. So that's really awesome. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care, and see you in the end phase.
We've been spending most our lives living in must